You again. Don't you have things to do?
I'll untie you, but only if you promise to join my crew.
Your what?
I run a pirate crew, and I'm looking for people to join up. That's great. But I've already decided that you're going to be on my crew.
What? You can't do that!
Here, you're one of the best swordsmen around.
I got 10 days left, and then they're—
Well, not quite. They're gonna execute you tomorrow.
The what?
Helmeppo never intended to honor your agreement. He planned on killing you from the start.
What?
Luffy, no!
Straw Hat!
See ya! That won't work on me! Told you I was strong!
What the— Who the hell are you?
Here's what I promised you. There's 3. I couldn't tell which was yours, so I just took all of them.
All of them belong to me. I use Sentoryu, the 3-sword style.
So you're finally gonna join my crew! This is the best thing ever!
Will you quit celebrating already and get these ropes off me?
Thank you.
Zoro has always been silent, lethal, loyal. But after the events of Wano, something inside him changed. The awakened King's Haki wasn't just a test of strength, it was a sign, a calling. In this theory, you'll discover why Zoro needs to train again, and how he's the forgotten piece of an ancient bloodline tied to the will of the D, the silence of Zoro. Roronoa Zoro, the right-hand man of the future Pirate King. The first to believe, in Luffy. The first to follow without demand, without doubt, without hesitation. But even after hundreds of chapters, Zoro remains an enigma. Why does a swordsman from the East Blue, trained in a modest dojo, have a haki do rei, something considered extremely rare even among the most powerful in the world? Why was he single-handedly able to cut down Kaido, a feat not all Yonko have accomplished? Why, in so many situations, does he demonstrate a presence that commands respect even among the cruelest? These questions have intrigued fans for years, and now, with the revelation that Zoro actually carries the Haoshoku Haki, the theory begins to consolidate. Zoro is not just a swordsman. He is the heir to a forgotten lineage, a lineage of kings, the call of Haki. After the events of Wano, Zoro is more powerful than ever, but he knows and admits that has not yet fully mastered the King's Haki. The fight against King made that clear. Zoro managed to channel Haoshoku, but it was instinctive, brutal, unstable, and that's why he decides to train again. But not with Mihawk, not with common swordsmen. Zoro feels that in order to master this Haki, need to understand its origin. Not just Haki, but his own, the mystery of the Shimotsuki. In SBS, Oda Q&A section, it was revealed that Zoro has ties to the Shimotsuki clan, the noble samurai family of Wano, descendants of great swordsmen, including Kozaburo Shimotsuki, creator of the Enma. Sword Zoro doesn't know this. But there are clues. He trained with Koshiro, who was the son of Shimotsuki Kushiru. Kuina was a direct descendant of the Shimotsuki. The name Roronoa may be a variation of the name of one of the families that stayed in East Blue after fleeing Wano. These details reinforce the idea that Zoro is actually the heir to a legendary Wano bloodline, of warriors who believed in justice, honor, and the sword, and it doesn't stop there. The Land of Lost Kings. During his journey of self-discovery, Zoro arrives on a remote island, one bearing an ancient temple bearing samurai inscriptions. There, he meets a swordsman monk who recognizes a aura real de Zoro. This monk tells him something disturbing. You carry the blood of those who defied heaven, the same blood that once served Joy Boy. You are no mere swordsman. You are the lost thread of destiny. Zoro doesn't believe it, but the inscriptions reveal something even more shocking. A mural. A man with 3 swords, with a scar on his left eye, surrounded by black lightning, with the D symbol carved in the background. The sword that cuts, or destiny. This mural takes the theory to another level. And if Zoro's clan was, in the past, one of the founding clans of the ancient kingdom destroyed in the Void Century, what if your ancestors were guardians of the ancestral weapons, or perhaps advisors to Joy Boy himself? And if, in choosing to follow Luffy, Zoro didn't make a random choice. But yes, did he respond to a silent call that had always been within him? The theory argues that King Zoro's haki did not arise from willpower alone. He is their incarnation of the will of an ancestral warrior, and for that very reason, he needed to find Luffy, the choice to follow. When Luffy freed him at the Marine base, Zoro made a vow: "If you let me be the best swordsman in the world, then I will become your right-hand man." But was it just a moment of impulse? The theory suggests that Luffy's presence awakened something in Zoro, that in that instant, as he looked at the future Pirate King, Zoro saw the heir to Joy Boy's will, and his haki reacted. It's no coincidence that only Luffy and Zoro have Haoshoku in the main crew. They are the two pillars of the will of D1, will be the king. The other will be the blade that cuts kings. Zoro may never speak of this, but deep down, he knows his journey was never by chance. He was guided by his blood, his sword, and by a will that existed long before he was born. Zoro, the heir to the warrior's will, the sword destined to serve the king of D to Second Forge. Back on the island of the Samurai Temple, after seeing the mural of the ancestral swordsman with features similar to his own, Zoro decides to stay, not out of obligation, but because, to protect Luffy until the end. He needs Master King's haki completely. The swordsman monk offers a challenge. You fight like a king, but you still think like a lone warrior. To awaken your clan's true Haoshoku, you'll need to do something you've never done before. Open your mind and remember what was forgotten. It's the beginning of Zoro's second training. This time, it's not about cutting mountains or mastering sword styles, but of awaken the memories hidden in the blood, and this is where the theory expands in symbolic depth. The truth about Zoro's lineage. In the temple's ancient records, the name Shimotsuki appears frequently, but in an even older version, a name forgotten, hidden, erased from history. Shimo D. Tsuki. According to the theory, the Shimotsuki clan was originally part of a lineage that had D in his name. They were samurai of the ancient kingdom who fought alongside Joy Boy in the Great War of the Void Century. After the crash, the name was hidden to protect survivors. Over the generations, the D was eliminated from the records. But the will remained in the blood. Zoro is not just a descendant of the Shimotsuki. He is the last heir of the D, of the swordsman, the awakening of the supreme Haoshoku. During meditation and blind combat training, Zoro enters a state of expanded consciousness. In this state, he sees figures of ancient warriors, all with 3 swords, all with scarred eyes. They don't speak. They just stare at him. And when Zoro raises Enma, the king's haki explodes from his body. But this time, not in destructive waves. It is a Haoshoku that shapes the swords around him, as if the ancestors themselves were lending their will to the blade. This new state is described as Kensei no Hao, the king of blades, a rare form of king's haki that can only be used by swordsmen with ancient royal bloodlines. And it is at that moment that Zoro understands. He doesn't need to be a king. It needs to be the sword of the right king. The prophecy of the swordsman of D among the temple manuscripts. There is an erased passage from the Void Century records that reads, "When the sun smiles again, and the drum of freedom sounds, the blade of lost kings will rise beside the one who will rend the sky." Zoro, who has always ignored prophecies and symbols, feels a strange connection. The sun, the reference to the god Nika, the drum, the beat of Luffy's gear. 5, and the blade of lost kings. It's him, the sword that cuts the impossible. The one who opened the heavens against Kaido. The silent shield that never retreats. Zoro isn't just in Luffy's crew, it was written to be. The return and the silent oath. Zoro returns to the ship. No one knows what he went through. But something changed. He doesn't speak, but Luffy smiles when he sees him. "Did you train well, Marimo? Enough to protect you until the end." And that's all they need to say. The theory holds that this moment will mark the turning point. because when the war against the world government breaks out, Zoro will be the key to taking down the final Guardians, the Holy Knights, the Admirals, maybe even Emu. The final duel. At the climax of One Piece, when everything is about to fall apart, it will take more than strength. It will take someone to cut their own destiny. Zoro, with the Kensei no How activated, will be the one to face the greatest swordsman of the ancient world, perhaps even a secret warrior from the Void Century. And in that moment, the voice from your past will echo. You don't wield a sword. You are the sword. Zoro will understand that it was never about him. It was about what he represents. Unbreakable loyalty. The silent force that sustains the king's sword. In the end, Luffy will be the pirate king, but not without Zoro. Zoro? Zoro will be the one who ensured that the throne of freedom would not be usurped. The will of the D is not inherited only in name. It manifests itself in those who, even without understanding, follow it to the end. A Zoro. I always knew where to cut. What did you think of this theory? Click the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. See you next time. Bye.